on Tropical Depression 15W. As people are joining in the live broadcast, we will hold off for just a few moments and then we'll get underway in about another minute or so.
Good evening. This is Joshua from WF Guam. How are you doing? Excellent. Yeah, I'm just calling to get your opinion about how winds are going to be like over the next couple of days.
And again, good afternoon. This is Landon Eilert, the Warning Coordination Meteorologist with the National Weather Service office on Guam. We are live with our second broadcast on what is now Tropical Depression 15W that was upgraded earlier today from the Invest Area 98W. So we will get underway in about another half minute. So stand by.
I was just wondering your opinion on that. If you think it's okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. So okay. So that matches what I kind of have the forecast. But yeah, I was going to increase matches small craft by tomorrow morning.
All right, we will get started now with this broadcast. And again, good afternoon. This is Landon Eilert with our 5 p.m. live broadcast, our second broadcast for Tropical Depression 15W.
Thank you. Have a great
That was upgraded earlier today at 1 o'clock from Invest Area 98W. It was upgraded overnight from a rating of low, then medium, and then to a tropical cyclone formation alert. It then became a tropical depression, so now it has maximum sustained winds of 30 miles per hour. So that is continued to intensify today, tonight, and in the coming days as it approaches the Mariana Islands. This has its eyes set for the Marianas. It could be a Guam hit. It could be a Saipan hit. We are all in the crosshairs of this developing tropical cyclone. So stay tuned as things will be evolving over the next 48 hours. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, it was located about 9.9 degrees north, 154.2 degrees east, moving quickly west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. It did have maximum sustained winds of 30 miles per hour with higher gusts. And at that time, that was about 685 miles east-southeast of Guam and 675 miles east-southeast of Saipan. This tropical depression is moving towards us, and it will be continuing its approach toward the Mariana Islands over the next couple days. So this is our 1 o'clock graphic that we drew up with that first warning. This is our public advisory number 1 on tropical depression 15W. We will be issuing public advisories every 6 hours as we get information from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. So this is our 1 p.m. advisory. We have our next advisory coming up in the 7 o'clock hour this evening, followed by 2 o'clock in the morning, and then 7 o'clock Sunday morning. This is our tropical depression. It's in its developing phase. It is intensifying, and it's coming somewhere toward the Mariana Islands. This thing could be a hit for somebody in the islands. It could be Guam, it could be Rota, Tinian, or Saipan. This is the forecast path. This is something that we have to watch very closely because this could become a tropical storm on Sunday and could intensify into a typhoon by Monday. So keep that in mind. As this approaches, it will be intensifying over the next 2.5 days. This is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center homepage showing now Tropical Depression 15W. That Invest Area 97W, that's a weak tropical disturbance. That's been out in the Philippine Sea to our west. That is continuing westward and is of no threat to us. For those following us on Facebook from the Philippines, we're getting a lot of comments and questions from the Philippines. Please be advised of weather forecast and information from Pagasa, as they will have the detailed information regarding 97W and any impacts there. This is our first, this is what we call the error track. This is showing the error cone that within 2/3 of the time, a forecast track of a tropical cyclone will fall within this white area. So this is the current forecast plot from advisory number 1 of Tropical Depression 15W. Based on the 1 o'clock position, it is forecast to go through the Rota Channel as a typhoon sometime on Tuesday. This is going to be a significant threat to us in the coming days. This is something we have to watch for. But remember, this track could wobble to the north or it could wobble to the south. It could still pass south of Guam, or it could still pass over Saipan or Tinian. This is something we're going to be watching closely over the next 2 days as it approaches. This is our forecast wind plot. This blue area, that shows tropical storm force winds of 39 miles per hour and higher. The yellow, this is severe tropical storm force winds of 58 miles per hour. The red, these are typhoon force winds, and it could become a typhoon by Monday night as it's still on approach to the Mariana Islands. So stand by as this evolves over the next couple of days. This is some of the new charts we're showing from the National Weather Service. These are probabilistic charts showing the probabilities of tropical storm force winds with Tropical Depression 15W. We're seeing about 60 to 70% probabilities of tropical storm force winds over Guam and Rota with the system. So the likelihood of much of the Mariana Islands filling tropical storm force conditions is very high. It's a lesser extent for typhoon force winds. We do have that available on our webpage, but this chart shows the most likely arrival time of tropical storm force winds. We're looking at for Guam and Rota and later in Tinian Saipan around Tuesday morning. So there's tropical storm force winds of 39 miles per hour or more. They are most likely to arrive sometime Tuesday morning. This is when you want to have your plans, your preparations, your actions complete, taken care of. This is when you want to be hunkered down because those winds will become damaging to loose limbs, treetops, loose debris. Many houses are still with tarps and canopies, especially up in northern Guam. So make sure they're secured as best as you can get those by Tuesday morning. Ideally, you want to have that wrapped up by Monday night because conditions will probably start deteriorating a little bit earlier than Tuesday morning. And Dan, one of our senior forecasters, will go into those details. So we're talking about the forecast funnel yesterday, the uncertainties and stuff. We're now getting a little bit closer to its passage, so there's increasing confidence in what's going to be expected with this tropical system. We can confidently say everyone in the Mariana Islands will likely feel a tropical storm force condition, a cyclone. Somebody may be feeling the full brunt of a typhoon. It may be a direct hit to Guam, or it may be a direct hit to Tinian and Saipan. This is what we're going to be watching very closely in the coming days because these tracks will shift and they will wobble just a little bit. So we're not quite pretty dang confident yet, but that will be coming in the next 24 to 36 hours as things come into better alignment. There's still a lot of unknown variables. Will the forward motion increase or will it slow down on its approach to the Mariana Islands? If it slows down on approach, it would have more time to strengthen and intensify on its approach. What is the rate of the intensification now through Sunday and Monday? Will it be rapidly intensifying? We hope not. That's our worst fear in the forecasting realm, is that there's rapid intensification similar to what Mawar experienced on its approach. Will this be another Mawar? Right now the indications are no, but this is always a possibility. When the conditions are right, rapid intensification can happen. And again, this is something we have to watch out for, so plan for the worst case scenario. It's still possible to pass south of Guam, or it could pass north of Saipan. Keep that in mind. We're going to see wobbles and shifts in the forecast track over the next 2 days. The known variables, it is now Tropical Depression 15W. 15W is expected to develop further in the coming days. It could be a tropical storm tonight or tomorrow, and it could be a typhoon by Monday night. Watch out for that. Any one or several islands may take a near miss or a direct hit next week. Plan for this. All of Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan should watch the forecast trends very closely through the weekend. And so just a little bit of terminology. We were looking at the comments and questions yesterday about watches and warnings. We will issue a watch when those 34 knot winds or 39 miles per hour winds are possible within 48 hours. So the key word for the watch is possible. There's some room for uncertainty, some speculation, some change in the forecast. Tropical cyclone watches for the onset of those winds are possible within 48 hours. The warning is when there's more certainty. And so we'll issue a tropical cyclone warning when those damaging winds are expected within 24 hours. And that's based again on damaging winds, which are 39 miles per hour, versus destructive winds, which is 58 miles per hour. And we talk about terminology. Tropical cyclones, that's a term that encompasses tropical depression, tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. So you'll hear these terms interchangeably. We were talking about invest areas yesterday. What we mean by invest is just it's a disturbance that we're investing more assets and resources to gather information on a developing disturbance. All typhoons begin as a tropical disturbance, but not all disturbances become a typhoon. So keep that in mind as we talk about tropical cyclones in the future. And let's come over here to Dan right quick. He's going to talk about the Mariana Island forecast for Guam, Tinian, and Rota, and Saipan. Dan, what are you looking at for next week? What can people expect? A lot of concern about wind and rain. Will it be rainfall like Mawar?
So right now, we're not expecting rainfall in the to get to the levels of Mawar, but we are expecting some potentially very heavy rainfall beginning. Generally, looks like beginning potentially late Monday night for Guam and Rota, and then spreading up to Tinian and Saipan into Tuesday as the 15W passes through the region, and likely continuing into portions of Wednesday. So looks like could be experienced 24 to 48 hours of potentially heavy rain spots. So right now, our general forecasts, we're kind of going with 6 to 10 inches with higher up to a foot in spots. So as of right now, that seems to be lower for most spots than what they got in Mawar. In terms of wind, really the next couple days here, we're expecting favorable winds, 10 to 20 miles per hour. So if you have the chance to do any sort of preparations tomorrow and Monday, you want to get those done. Looks like conditions begin to deteriorate Monday night. Again, we're expecting hazardous seas and surf Monday night, and Tuesday and Wednesday high seas and high surf conditions expected across the region. So don't be out in the water beginning Monday night if possible. So it looks like conditions really going to deteriorate Monday night, and the worst Tuesday and the Wednesday, and then beginning to improve late week. So yeah, it looks like Tuesday and the Wednesday look to be pretty bad, and then conditions begin to improve Thursday, Friday, but still could see some hazardous seas and surf on those days and some gusty winds. So.
All right, thank you, Dan. Weather conditions for Sunday for planning and preparedness actions?
Yeah. Looking at really Sunday and into Monday as well, looking for isolated to low and scattered showers. Winds 10 to 15, maybe upwards of 20 miles per hour. So, like I said, tomorrow's probably the best day to get things done.
Okay, so there you go. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be the best day to take preparedness actions and get those things squared away. At the least, plan for this to be a tent canopy tarp situation. Make sure your tents, canopies, and tarps are secured, or even better, secured inside. Take them down, put them inside where they can't blow away. Also, your Halloween decorations, your Christmas decorations, if you celebrate September months, secure those, because this will be the bare minimum for everyone in the region. It could be worse for somebody else. General preparedness tips, and thank you Guam Homeland Security for providing this information. They will be continuing to put out information for preparedness actions and safety kits. Prevent flooding. Those living in flood-prone areas should take action to clear drainage areas and unblock storm drains to minimize floodings. They're doing phenomenal work trying to prepare for such occasions. We have our flood-prone areas here on Guam. Make sure you have them as clear as possible for intense rainfall. We typically have torrential rainfall with these tropical cyclones. Secure your home. Clear loose debris. Those tents, canopies, and tarps and Halloween decorations. Clear your yard. Store those items inside. Make sure they're ready to go. Pack your emergency kits. Make sure you have food and water on hand. Any kind of forms. Stay informed at weather.gov/Guam, because this is where we're going to be routinely updating our forecasts. Our forecasts, our tropical cyclone advisories, around the clock 24/7 as this thing evolves. Stay up to date, because things will change in the coming days. And so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media.